So what I'm looking for in practice is I'm always trying to start with a stronger hand position. And I want to be able to create some steepness through the front, just to see if there is hold that I can create with my hand. And as you saw there, that one was pretty steep through the front with the purple hammer, and it didn't hook down lane, which was an okay sign, not too bad. So I just kind of shut it down a little bit to see if it would then get there, and it overhooked. So that's not a good sign. So that tells me I'm not gonna be able to use this hand position, but because I want to see how the lanes are as I move left, I continue to move left a little bit and get my hand around it still to see if it overreacts. If it does overreact, like it does, I try to grab a little bit stronger ball to see if it'll slow down. So I grab the tank to see if it slows down a little bit from there, and I moved a few more left, and it does slow down a little bit better, but doesn't quite slow down enough to get to the pocket until I move far enough left. But here I'll throw another one here, and it still doesn't quite do what I'm expecting, what I want. And it gets there, but it slows down a little bit too much at that point. It's too steep and doesn't go through the pins. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take that, I'm going to weaken my hand position, I'm going to go back right, because now I know I can't go left with what I'm trying to do. I can't go left and go around it early, so I'm going to have to go straight and smooth, back my hand out of it a little bit. And when I saw that 9-pin, I'm like, okay, bingo. Go to this purple hammer, do the same thing, and the purple hammer is going to be a little bit slower, a little bit smoother, so I can get it there. So then off that purple hammer, I'm going to see how much I can go left with that same hand position with this other bowling ball, with this tank, and see if I can still get it to go through the pins from a little bit further left. So this is like 3 and 1 left here, and it slows down perfect and still goes through the pins, so that's good. So now I got to check and see if I got any bigger bowling balls or any reactive bowling balls that'll go through the pins. I threw this closer one time, and it hooked so early and stopped. This looks so bad. I mean, it looks good here because it strikes, but the ball reaction that I'm seeing, it's not what I want. So I put that away right away. And grabbed the IQ Tour, which is a little bit smoother, a little bit cleaner cover, but it was a little bit jerky down lane. Kind of came around the corner a little too hard, so it's not quite there for that. That'll be a good ball for later in the day. So then I grabbed a big strong ball like the Prism Solid here, and got in that area and rolled it, and it did exactly what I'm looking for, that blend, that smooth archy reaction there. So then I move a little bit right, looking for hold to see if I can still play that zone or get a little bit straighter and be able to create that hold, and it was perfect. So that's another option that I have with that big giant Prism ball. So then I grabbed the IQ Tour just to see if I can go a little bit further left and get it and see if it'll let me kind of bank it a bit, and it doesn't let me do it. It's just too much down lane. So when I'm practicing and I'm looking for ball reaction, or I'm looking for how I want to kind of play the lanes, I'm not exactly looking at what the balls do on that particular day as far as how they play the oil pattern. I'm looking for how bowling balls react compared to each other, so that way I know the next day, because the topography is different. So what I think is going to be my low end or medium end ball might hook more than any other ball at that time. So I kind of have to just, like what I did when I was creating my arsenal, I'm kind of doing that again to see if all of those balls are still continuing to be in that same line that I had them at, and then kind of moving things and adjusting them as I go to figure out where I need to go with my bowling balls and what my progression is from high end to low end and all that good stuff. So it's not necessarily trying to figure out how to play the pattern, although you're trying to get an idea, because even though the pattern will be a little bit different tomorrow, it does give you a general shape. So it gives you that idea of, okay, here's the 2 extremes that I can use. Like you saw, I used some of the urethane and some of the really strong bowling balls. I was able to get them both to work. So it gives me options either way. But that's what I'm always looking for, is I'm always looking for just different options, so I can have a few different bases covered in case my first instinct doesn't exactly work. I have something to kind of go to afterwards. So just keep that in mind the next time you go and practice, or you're getting ready for a tournament. Always look for, never necessarily try to play the pattern that you have on practice day. Try to just make sure you understand what your bowling ball differences are from bowling ball to bowling ball, so that way when you come to the tournament and you actually bowl in the event, you can make your adjustments a whole lot easier, rather than saying, well, this ball didn't do this yesterday. Well, it doesn't matter what it did yesterday. It matters what it does right now. But you then know, because you've bowled in that center now, what the difference between that ball is and then your other balls that you have. So it gives you a good idea going into that next day or going into that tournament what you need to do. So I hope this helps. Just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up there so you could see how I go through things. But I'm ready for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty confident in this. I feel like I have a really good shot at winning this event because my ball reaction is that good, and I've always bowled good in this bowling center. So we'll see what happens. But until next time, make sure you guys subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys a little bit later, maybe tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.